A very big welcome to you, my dear Gemini, and of course a big welcome to the other zodiac signs that are here for an inspiration, because when the sun is in Leo, giving the light to the moon, which is now in your sign, we all feel it, and through the subconscious I can bring the message to us all, but particularly to you right now, my dear Gemini. So let's see what your deck is bringing right now. The Seven of Cups, which is Venus in Scorpio. And we do have the difficulty of the 7 illusions here, which is death and time, separation, control, and that there's not enough, that you're unworthy, and fear. So whichever cup you're picking here, you're picking an illusion. And here's the number 8. And that's that infinite choice that we have constantly. Venus now is in Libra, also an air sign like you. She's the queen. So when Venus is in Libra, she's at home. And we feel that we want to make things beautiful. So we're going to look at the deck I have for Venus. And here for Venus, the Empress, she gives birth to all the other signs, right? So we have the Fool, which is Uranus. We have the Magician, which is Mercury. And then we have the High Priestess, which is the moon, or Lilith, the dark side of the moon. And then we have Venus, the Empress. After the Empress begins the zodiac signs. So she gives birth to all the following signs, the cards that are coming in the tarot. So here I only have the major arcanas from Oswald Wirth. And you get the Chariot. So the emotional success, a 7-7 portal, look at this, how powerful is this? The emotional success is that we have to understand that duality is part of the illusion, and in the separation, right, that these are separate. They're not, they're together. One cannot exist without the other. If I inhale only, I need to exhale. And in the breath, we see it really clearly, right? It's like, oh, I don't need a woman. Yes, you do. But it's kind of like, I don't need an exhale. Well, I guess you do. Otherwise, you will die. So in this dimension, we have this illusion. So here comes an emotional intelligence that understands these 7 illusions. And 2 times the 7, the crown chakra, he's wearing, or she's wearing, a crown. And the Empress is right here. Then we understand that we become creative in the way we embody here this moment of being someone that understands what's really happening. As above, so below, right? And so whatever has happened in the sky, Venus in Libra, we pick Venus. Now we're going to look at Libra. We're going to look at the reality. We're not going to look at Venus in Scorpio, right? And usually I would look at Cancer. I would look what Cancer has to say. But I want to see what Libra is saying now, since Venus is in Libra, and what we can do with the illusions through the perspective of Libra, because that's the reality. Wow, so the Queen of Cups is coming, and so there is Cancer very strongly here. And Cancer is the one that here, the Chariot and the Queen of Cups, she is the healer. She's the one that says, well, understand that 7 illusions, understand separation doesn't exist. All you need to do is focus on what you want, and then these two will follow your command and create a loop. If you inhale and exhale and command that and are in the cycle of this inhale and exhale, you can move forward, you can be successful, you can heal, you can be a queen, because you are a knight. You're the Knight of Swords, right? And so observe here the number 4, a 7-7. If I calculate that together, I get the 14. The 14 and the 4 is the 18. That's the moon. The moon is bringing you this information, and the 9 is left. Because we always go down to one single digit number. And the 9 is completion, and the 9 is Virgo in the next reading. So very clear. But I leave the 77 and the 4. Understand the 4. The 4 is a stability, but sometimes that stability gets tight and we need to break out. So observe that, right? So here the Queen of Cups is the one that helps you to not pick any of this 7 cups, but pick yourself. Be the one. Because the 7 and the 4 is the 11. Then we have a portal. And then we have a 7-11 or 11-7, a date. Wow. So amazing, right? So we can, through the numbers, have so many clear messages coming to us because numbers don't lie. And pictures help, but pictures can be deceiving. I like this picture. Someone else doesn't like this picture. But the numbers, they are usually very clear and straightforward. And that's how I feel that I can, through also the reality included, what is really going on, right? Not Venus in Scorpio, which will come after. This is interesting. So after Venus in Libra, Venus is going to be in Scorpio. So it's actually a little bit of the future here. But we don't read the future, right? This is kind of the reality right now, that you get lost sometimes. So emotionally lost, right? So understand the inhale, exhale, go straight forward, know the emotional intelligence that comes through this cycle, and then understand that you are the healer. You could also have the Queen of Cups within you. Look in the description below, because the court cards don't have the same date than the major arcanas, and sometimes there's an overlapping. So you could be a Gemini, but already be the Queen of Cups. So have a look, right, and see if you are that combination. And I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the Sun in Virgo. The 9 was left in the number here. Virgo is already talking. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.